Hi, this is Lisa. In this video, we're going to talk about equations with decimals. We'll be using the same rules that we have been using for solving equations. There's no need to clear the decimals. Just use your calculators to help with the decimal arithmetic. In example number 1, remember that equal sign divides our equation between the left-hand side and the right-hand side. I have x minus 3.4. If I want the x by itself, I need to add 3.4 to both sides of the equation. Negative 3.4 plus 3.4 is 0, so that leaves me with x equals, if you're doing these by hand, I like to do the bigger number or the positive number on top and the smaller number below it. Add up or line up your decimal points and then you can subtract. 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. My answer, x equals 1.3. Example number 2 says we have negative 0.8 equals 16.8. Here I've got multiplication, right? 0.8 times n, so I need to divide by negative 0.8. You can keep the leading 0 there if you like or not. It's just a placeholder. On my calculator now I'm going to do 16.8 divided by negative 0.8. Enter, and there's my answer for me. So my final answer is m equals negative 21. Example number 3. Here I have two terms with x's in them. I want to get those x terms on the same side of the equation. I'm going to start by subtracting 7.7x so I can leave my number by itself on the left-hand side of the equation. 7.7x minus 7.7x is 0. I have 4 equals. And again, if you're not good at that decimal arithmetic, pull your calculator out. This is negative 1x. And to get the x by itself, I need to divide both sides by negative 1. So negative 4 equals x is my final answer. Now, number 4 looks a little bit harder. It's not really, it just has parentheses in it. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute to eliminate the parentheses. 0.25 times 2 is 0.5. 0.25 times 3 is 0.75. So this gives me 0.5 minus 0.75x. Notice I've included my minus sign and my x in there. I can only do the numeric part on my calculators and distribute on the second side, and you should get 0.25 plus 0.3. 0.25x plus 0.3. Now we're going to get our x terms together. I'm going to add 0.75x to both sides of my equation. And I'm left with 0.5 equals 1x plus 0.3. I need to get my numbers on the other side of the equation, so I'm going to subtract 0.3 from both sides of my equation. And that will leave me 0.5 minus 0.3 is 0.2 equals 1x, or just plain x. And there's my final answer. Now I want you to notice in here I didn't write my vertical line, but if you look, my equal signs all line up. So I am still working with the left-hand side and the right-hand side of my equation. We're going to do an application problem here. The number of internet paid search ads is increasing as advertisers move away from traditional marketing methods. The equation y equals 6.5x plus 41.6 can be used to project spending on internet search ads in billions of dollars X years after 2012. Our spending is what's being represented by y. And the number of years after 2012 is what x is representing in this particular problem. If we look at part A, it asks us to estimate spending, that's our Y, on internet search ads in 2014. This is going to help us find X. If we subtract 2012 from 2014, X is 2 years after 2012. So we're going to use our original equation, Y equals 6.5 plus 41.6, but instead of X, we're going to substitute in 2. So there's our equation. All I did was change X to 2, and now I'm going to pull out my calculator again, clear the screen, and do 6.5 times 2 plus 41.6. And I get 54.6. So Y equals 54.6. It's projected that we will spend $54.6 million in 2014. Now part B asks us to find in what year will spending on internet search ads reach 75 billion. This is my Y value. This time I'm going to put 75 billion in for Y. So 75 equals 6.5x plus 41.6. To solve, subtract 41.6 from each side of the equation. $75 minus 41.6, 33.4. Equals 6.5x, and to get the x by itself, I'm dividing by 6.5. So again, if I go back to my calculator and divide by 6.5, 5.1, or in this case it didn't tell us to round to the nearest year, but I'm going to, and I'm going to get x equals 5. So if x equals 5, then in what year did that take place? 5 years after 2012 would mean I'm doing 2012, whoops, 2012 plus 5 is 2017. And that concludes this video. Have a good afternoon.